The 32nd Health Teaching Workshop of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. It's Tuesday, May 26, 2015. It's the fourth week of the online teachings of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute, day 17. And we're here with Marco, who will be the coordinator of this workshop this afternoon, and we're ready to begin with the promotional video first of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute.
Where does humanity go from here? What have we tried to do? What if there is more, much more? The Keshe Foundation is proud to announce a new way to bring humanity forward through technology that brings humanity in line with the natural operation of the planet and universe itself. The new science and technology discovered and developed by the nuclear engineer Moran Keshe centers upon the use and control of magnetical gravitational fields. This new body of knowledge opens the road to hundreds of potential applications, which offer solutions to most of the fundamental problems of the world, such as water, food, environmental contamination, and shortages of energy. The Keshe Foundation is proud to unveil the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Nestled amidst the beautiful shores of Bari, Italy, the Institute is poised to become a central hub in the spreading of plasma technology and knowledge. With its state-of-the-art 21st century facilities, the Institute will be able to provide students and staff an immersive way to learn the plasma technology, to be the leaders of the new generation of scientists and plasma engineers. The Keshe Foundation has opened the door to the world for peaceful usage of technology that is independent of the limited resources that are available on Earth. This is an understanding of how everything works together in harmony in our universe, and it applies to everything from the smallest to the biggest, from atoms to galaxies. We all are able to collectively work together in pursuit of knowledge, innovation, and solutions for our society. This learning environment is new to the world, where there will be no test to confirm your understanding. The knowledge of everyone will be respected and allowed to flourish in a nurturing environment. Hands-on testing and experimenting will be widely used in conjunction with roundtable discussions to bring all opinions and knowledge forward. Students will be introduced to a change in the ethos of working in collaboration. Students will experience firsthand how we share knowledge in a free and open manner. Graduating students are expected to share the knowledge they gain from the university within their respective communities and nations. All formal teachings, lectures, and presentations will be in the English language, with technology available for immediate translation. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will be offering 3-year executive master programs for undergraduate degree students and 1-year executive master programs for graduate degree students in the following fields: space transportation, new plasma technology, health, agriculture, materials, energy. The health section is designed to make students able to live in space without the need to return to Earth. To this end, the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute has found processes for many diseases including ALS, cancer, coma, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will offer online teaching courses which will enable anyone, anywhere around the world to enroll and increase their knowledge and understanding. Students will have the opportunity to direct their work towards commercial spin-offs and seek funding through the help of the Keshe Foundation. The access to the new science and new technologies is openly available for peaceful use to the benefit of mankind to make a better world today. Now you can be part of the changing world and the new knowledge. All commercial spin-offs are intended to be open source and patent-free. This is part of the core ethos of the Keshe Foundation and the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will have its official inauguration on April 21st, 2015, with courses commencing soon after on May 4th, 2015. The students of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will be the leaders of the future who will make changes in all areas of space technology, science, medicine, agriculture, and energy. Anyone is able to apply, but acceptance is through invitation only. No prerequisites are required. We will be accepting approximately 250 students for the 3-year Executive Master's Program and 120 students for the 1-year Executive Master's Program. We welcome humanity's participation in the knowledge of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Where does humanity go from here? That is up to you. Apply today.
Okay, that was the promotional video.
You can hear me okay?
Yeah, that was the promotional video.
I just had to,
Hello,
yeah, I just
Vince?
had to change my sound input, so I just want to make sure you can hear me okay.
Yep.
Okay, fantastic.
All right, so we can take the focus back onto the main screen, I guess.
Hello, good day.
Hi, Marco.
Hello, are we online?
Yes.
So today health teaching will be also without Mr. Cash, unfortunately. He has urgent meeting and presentation in another university near Bari. So he cannot be with us this time. Maybe I can try to explain something, even though I'm not an expert in health, but I will try to explain what we are talking about in our online teachings. In our master study program. So as you've seen in the promotional video of the Spaceship Institute, the master study 1-year program started on 4th of May, and for this program there's possibility also to be like online student, and every online student has direct access to real-time online teaching. Every day at 10 o'clock till 1 o'clock, there are teachings from Monday to Friday, and then in the afternoon from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Mr. Cash every day is teaching online. And in these teachings, he goes much more into depth about the plasma technology. So people who are interested in this program, they can still enroll for online teachings, and all these videos are available on the server. So you can go to the server and watch them later whenever you have time, and you can still catch up with these teachings. This server gives us also other opportunities. I hope that in the future we will create some kind of community in this teaching environment, so all the students can contribute to the learning process. There is forum over there available, and I think all online students and students who are here should start to share their experience in this in this server, in this site, and try to make a community, to make groups which will be more specialized in certain topic. And we can also share our understanding and try to increase our knowledge about plasma technology. All these tools are available on this platform. So at the moment, people mostly are just looking on the videos, but I hope in the future we will start to put some definitions also about what plasma is, what are magnetical field, gravitational field, and all these details. These videos will be available all the time. Whoever will join to these teachings will have access to them. So that's one part that is interesting. Another one is because we are in the health teaching, there is the new development of this health device. At the opening of the institute, Professor Luzzi showed his device, and he is developing further. And in coming weeks, there will be a cancer trial where with this device we will try to cure cancer patients. So whoever is interested to participate in this trial, she can send email to cancer@spaceshipinstitute.org, and doctors who would like to monitor these patients, they should send email to doctors@spaceshipinstitute.org. So this is the latest development. Yesterday, Professor Luzzi was here, and they tested equipment with Mr. Cash. So it's work is in progress, and as soon as this will be finished, this trial of the cancer will be started. Maybe in these health teachings, I can remember all the listeners about some tips. How can we improve our health with some simple approaches that doesn't take a lot of effort, but we can improve our physical condition, let's say, and also our emotional state. These are some tips that Mr. Cash explained even in other workshops. For people who are new in these teachings, maybe it's a little bit difficult because there are so many of the workshops that you need a lot of time to go through all of them. So I will try to remember you once again about these tips. How can you help to yourself? One that I remember, just I was thinking before we started this health workshop. One of the thing is how can we take care for our teeth? a lot of people have problems with their teeth and with cavities and with um, caries. Is it also in English? Oh, cavities. Okay.
Cavities?
Okay. Yeah. Mr. Cash explained several times in the past that the simple thing to help ourselves is that we can eat cheese at the end of our meals. So when we are eating cheese, we change the environment in our mouth so that all these bacteria, microorganisms cannot influence to our teeth. And months ago, when Ivan Michaud, dentist from Belgium, was here with us, I asked him also about this, and he also confirmed this use of cheese for taking care of our teeth. And actually, he explained that in a cheese there is a lot of calcium, and our teeth are also composed of calcium. And so when we put cheese in our mouth, we convert it. Whenever we put like material in our body, it changes from matter state to GAN state. And we can say also that in our mouth, this calcium changes into GAN state, and it fills all these small pores and small holes, and somehow fills these cavities. And Ivan also confirmed this. He observed that with his patients, these properties of cheese. So, if you have a small child, or even for adults, it's good to teach your children, maybe from young ages, to after every meal, or especially in the evenings, to chew piece of cheese, and then you will not have any problems with cavities. I'm also using cheese, and last few years, I don't have any problems, but so hopefully everything will be okay.
It's interesting, Marco, that you mentioned this, because I've been doing some research into the tooth thing because of my own problems with teeth and so on, and because virtually everybody I know has problems with their teeth. And it's interesting with the cheese. I looked it up, and there's an actual scientific paper on it, produced by an Indian team that was testing cheese and paneer, which is the Indian cheese, and trying to promote it for teeth, to rejuvenate teeth and so on. And what they found out was it's a lot of it has to do with the pH in the mouth, which is the amount of acidity. And for many people, when they eat sweet things, which is a predominant part of our culture now, it produces an acid environment. And the eating of the cheese produces more of an alkaline environment, or it eliminates the excess acidity. And that for that critical period of an hour after after eating a meal, especially with the sugar. It continues eating at the enamel for up to an hour afterwards because the bacteria are promoted so much by that environment. And it's interesting in our last workshop with the Chinese that they showed the idea of the GANs being dissolved by the acidic environment. And this is virtually the same thing that occurs on the tooth level. Our teeth are actually nanomaterials. And if you look at it, according to the way it's designed, it's like the skin. It's inside, or like the same as creating the copper oxide nanomaterials. It's an inside out job. It doesn't come from the outside in, it comes from the inside out. It grows from the inside toward the outside. And when the tooth has the correct environment, it continues to grow. And when it doesn't have the correct environment, like when the acid level gets too high, that enables these more powerful entities of that we call bacteria to attack the tooth enamel, which is one of the hardest things known to man, basically. But it's of a particular substance. I think it's of phosphorus is one of the big, and calcium, of course. And that gets attacked by these bacteria when they have the right environment, which is just slightly more acidic. They love it. They just go crazy. So again, it's the environment and the conditions that create the whether a tooth is going to continue growing or get attacked. Same as trees or the similar thing, or skin, or any kind of plasmatic environment or nano environment.
Yeah, that's right. Even Ivan, he was doing charity work in India. From time to time, he went to China and tried to take care for children over there, like for their problems with teeth. But he said in no, did I say China? No, India. Sorry, I'm sorry, India. He was working there and he observed much less cavities in their children. They don't have very little, or almost nothing. And as you said, Rick, it depends on the environment. When you have this acidic environment in your mouth, you create environment to increase your cavities, and they have different food over there. Not so much processed food, and not so much sweets, and so they don't develop these problems with teeth. So this is very important. What kind of environment we create in our mouth, and the way Western society is using food now with all these sweets, and we create a lot of problems for our teeth. And the way how to change this is, of course, use of cheese. The other thing that is important with teeth is also usage of toothpaste. When we use toothpaste, we introduce other material into our teeth, and we give false information to our body, to our brain, that some materials are coming, and that's why body starts to give away material that are, let's say, stored in our body, because we get information that new material is coming, but at the end of the process of teeth brushing, we spill out all this toothpaste and everything. So body don't get any of these materials. So we can cause a lot of problems. So we have to be careful with our toothpaste. In some of the workshop, Mr. Cash said that the best thing that we can use is like sea salt or any other, well, maybe baking soda also, because there's just few elements inside that are not so critical regarding.
Yes, I agree. Most toothpastes are actually have sugar in them, so it seems like the sugar is counterindicated. For example, if you tell a kid to chew on this piece of cheese at the end of your meal, and then do you tell them to brush their teeth with the sugar toothpaste, or do you tell them to brush their teeth with the sugar toothpaste first, and then chew on the cheese to compensate for the sugar toothpaste? That's because most kids are. If you were visiting a family, you'd be hard pressed to tell them to change their toothpaste to salt and sodium bicarbonate when they're used to a sugary toothpaste. For myself, I use an Ayurvedic type toothpaste, which has ingredients that have been used for probably thousands of years, such as licorice, like real licorice root, and other herbal ingredients that actually help tooth growth and the environment in the mouth. But yes, the salt and baking soda, that is one of the best ingredients to use apparently, and you can mix that too with coconut oil, which is a great ingredient in the mouth. I've had good results with if I have a tooth flare-up, can be controlled with, of course, with the salt water flushing, and then you use coconut oil, which is a solid at room temperature, but when you put it in your mouth, it melts, and you hold that. The idea is called an oil pull, and it sort of pulls the toxins and bacteria out of your mouth. You hold it in your mouth for 5 to 10 minutes and just kind of swish it around and mix it with your saliva, and that coconut oil will tend to both pull out the toxic stuff and form a protective coating at the same time, and you just spit that out, so it's not, you don't swallow that necessarily. It's fine to swallow coconut oil as far as that goes, and lots of it, but it's not good to swallow it after you have had it in your mouth trying to do this oil pull treatment. So again, that's another case of creating the environment, creating conditions. Pardon me?
Can you can you unmute Caroline also? She wants to put something in.
Sure.
Conversation.
Go ahead, Carolina.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. In regard with the toothpaste, Mr. Kesh says, as he did in his previous teachings, he says it's better, I explain it a different way. When you put toothpaste in your mouth, you usually spit everything back out. But your body has received the information that is so-called is going to receive whatever is in that toothpaste. So by spitting it out, you deny your body which already received the information through what is going to receive, you're denying it. So he says, even if you have to brush your teeth, swallow always the toothpaste a little bit, not all of it. But then at least your body doesn't get confused. The problem sits that your body gets whatever is in the toothpaste, your body gets all this information about all these different ingredients, so your body prepares itself to receive it. With you spitting all the toothpaste out, your body doesn't receive anything. It's similar to the explanation of the Diet Coke. You deny your body, but you give the wrong information. Did you understand that?
Right, and now they found out that that's worse than the sugary types. So
No, the
yes,
explanation previous was when you drink Diet Coke, your body thinks it's going to receive it, but it doesn't. With the toothpaste, this is one of the main problems. You brush your teeth, it gets into your body, it receives the information, but it doesn't receive anything. It's the same game that it plays with everything because it doesn't get it. Because you spit everything back out and you wash your mouth afterwards. The only thing which actually stays behind is a nice minty taste if you use mint, but it's the confusion which it causes the body. So it's better to eat a little bit of the toothpaste and not spit everything out.
so you want to make sure you have good toothpaste if you're going to be eating it.
Yeah,
Not
if
only,
you have some natural toothpaste, then there is not such a big problem if you swallow
Yeah,
it.
it's probably actually is good for you to swallow it. So
it's a matter of not confusing your body that is going to receive when you actually are denying it.
Yeah.
That's where the problem sits. And in regard with teeth for the children, just let them to wash the teeth with clean water. Pardon. And then after brushing it, let them go to sleep in peace with a little bit of cheese in their mouth, because it rebalances the mouth condition. So it eliminates whatever is there causing all the cavities, that your teeth overnight are protected. And it's working with Rubin perfect, because Rubin was getting very much a lot of cavities, and I put them on the cheese. It even heals the teeth. That's the most remarkable thing about it. It even heals the cavities which already started.
that's the thing that's amazing, is that it is actually possible to regrow teeth. And this is some of the research I've been doing. I just couldn't believe it when I started reading it. It's not something that's common knowledge that teeth can actually regrow. It makes sense in a way, but if you keep the same conditions that cause the teeth to have problems, then it's not going to regrow, quite possibly. But changing the conditions, like Carolina just mentions, just making that small addition of the cheese can totally change the environment in the mouth and make it so that the good guys win out over the bad guys, basically, is what it amounts to.
Yes. But you know what the most and the biggest problem is? Dentists know this, all of them.
Okay, we have to spread this information as much as possible. So then we don't need dentists at all.
See you
Well,
later. Thank you.
for example, there is one technique that I read about that's just been patented recently, And the idea is very, very similar to our experiments. In fact, Armin's experiment that he's brought up recently of doing a better nano coating with adding a small amount of electricity, right? It turns out that in the mouth, there's this new patent for a device that eliminates cavities in your teeth. When you have a cavity in your tooth, this device will eliminate that cavity within about 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, and it consists of a jet of water with certain minerals in it and electricity. It's just a couple of volts, and you put the electricity in your mouth in a certain way and with this device, and it creates that voltage jump that allows the nanomaterials to be created, but gets rid of any foreign substance like the actual diseased tooth material and bacteria and so on. It takes all of that out and gives a fresh surface for the tooth to be reconstructed. So that's an interesting concept. It's the teeth are all about creating it's all about nanotechnology. It's a perfect experimental grounds. I'm using my own mouth as my personal experiment in nanotechnology right now. Because I have a number of issues and I should be going to the dentist and having them dealt with. But I'm finding ways to compensate basically and getting away with it and learning that certain habits that I have not been conducive to teeth growing, regrowing especially, and have led to decay and so on. And that goes back to, of course, childhood habits, high sugar content, and so on in meals, in spite of having relatively uh, good cooking from my mother and so on. It was just the regular North American diet where you have a large amount of sugar and so on, and most of the molar teeth are decayed by the time you're 10 or 12 years old and have to be filled, what we call filled with mercury. So right away, it doesn't seem like a good plan.
Yeah. So better is to prevent this situation that you have problems with cavities and everything. So that's the simplest way is to use this cheese and maybe some other to take care what's your diet and the environment in your mouth.
For me, I found realizing that the teeth are actually nanomaterials, and they actually call them nanomaterials when they're looking at teeth now as nanomaterials with several different layers in them. Again, it's the layering. The layering is so important because once you get through that first really tough layer, there's softer layers underneath that are more susceptible and so on. So the concepts of nanotechnology in teeth is a whole new world, and it's kind of invigorated me to look after my teeth in a different way, and I'm thankful for the knowledge that I've gained in the nanotechnology world from doing and seeing experiments and doing some research on it and so on. And it's really makes sense now, totally. The whole technology of teeth is seen in a different light.
Here in the chat there is about you can create other problems such as cancer in the mouth. Well, about these nanoparticles and everything. So Eric put the question here, and he warned us that when you put these nano structures in your mouth, you can create other problems such as cancer. So we have to be careful with this, and better for, by my opinion, is to take care and prevent to come to the position that we have problems with our teeth. And another simple method that Sandor has proposed for toothpaste is coconut oil with sodium bicarbonate. And so this is easy way, and you can also swallow part of this natural toothpaste, and there shouldn't be any problem. You were talking also about mercury, Rick, and about mercury fillings. So with mercury fillings, they confirmed, there are a lot of studies, and they confirmed that they cause a lot of problems in the human body. And in our online teachings, a few days ago, or it was yesterday, maybe, Mr. Cash explained that mercury causes a lot of problems with our children. The last research, there are data that they used in the vaccination for the children. They used also mercury. So these problems we talked about two workshops 2 weeks ago, I think, about problems with vaccination. The cause of this is mercury, this autism and problems with the children caused by the mercury. And these health organizations, they have these data, and so it's very questionable regarding their repetition and how they use vaccination. So we have to be careful about this vaccination, and try to check what they are using, because when you use this strong material, when mercury comes in our body, and when it changed to guns, it's strong guns, and it can cause a lot of problems in our nervous system. So this is another point that we have to be careful. Okay. Another thing that I remember from the previous teachings is for women. Women in the older ages, they have problems with their hip. They break their hip very, very quickly, and this is the consequence of using calcium from the hip. Every month, women has their period, and they prepared everything for a new child to be born. So they have to provide also calcium for a new child to be born. That's why human body tries to get this calcium from the nearest part, and nearest part is hip. So to prevent these problems, it's a good tip to use calcium tablets about 3 days before women menstruation cycle starts. So 3 days before, 3 days after, and then body doesn't search for calcium from the bones, and takes it from this from the tablets which are provided to the body. So that's also way how to take care to have like healthier bone structure. People who were not following all the teachings, maybe they hear this first time. For others who already heard about this, it's nothing wrong to warn once again. Caroline also mentioned the use of artificial sweet, artificial sugar in diet Coke or diet drinks. This is again another problem because we give false information to the body that there is sugar coming into the body, but then at the end there is no sugar, there is no energy supply, and this false information again cause a lot of problems in our body. Information is coming that new energy like sugar will be provided to the body, then body tries to eliminate its reserves, but in the end no energy is coming, and actually human body don't have so much energy, and we have problems with functioning. This is especially important at young ages, and we don't provide enough energy to supply to our brain, to our emotional part, and we can cause a lot of problems, and these problems can show itself in the later age. So if it's possible, we should not use artificial sugar at all. Another thing, maybe, I don't know if we already talked about, but for me it's important. It's providing calcium to the body. We should somehow provide enough calcium to our body so that our bone structure is supplied sufficiently with calcium. Why should be supplied sufficiently? Because our bone structure creates environment that our blood cells are created inside bone marrow, and if the structure of the bone is not right, then when lymph is traveling through bone, through these small holes, through this nanomaterial of the bone structure, it does not create all the materials that are needed for healthy development of the person, especially for the children. If you want to have healthy child, especially mentally healthy child, you should provide him enough of calcium so that bone marrow and this structure of nanostructure of the bones is built up, that red blood cells can be created, and also other B cells, T cells, and everything that body needs. Because why red blood cells are so important? They are used to provide energy to supply energy to emotional part of the brain. And if this energy is not supplied, then you have emotional problems with, let's say, if we talk about children. And the way how to provide calcium to our body is to cook like bones of the cattle, cow, or well, I don't have like exact recipe, but we should use like acid vinegar and slowly cook these bones in this vinegar at very low temperature, slowly, and this should be done in longer period of time, even 2 days, even 3 days, so that calcium in that bones converts into gans of calcium, and then we can supply with this soup to the children or even to adult. So the person will develop healthy bone structure in such a way. The bone marrow will create all the needed blood cells, red blood cells, T cells, B cells, and everything, so that person can develop, can have a healthy life. So there are some other comments here. Cheese, yeah, thanks. Vitamin B12, Caroline said always with magnesium. Okay. Built a copper ring. Hello, this remark is not really linked to health, as I did not feel an improvement of health, but anyway, it's interesting. I have built a copper ring and put 50% copper guns and 50% zinc guns in it. I put it on my arm like a bracelet for some hours. I did not feel much of a difference, but when I brought magnet close to the bracelet, I could actually sense the magnetic power, like a tickling. When it was not connected to my body, I could not see a difference. So it seems that our body is with the combination of guns. Okay. Did anybody experience the same? I don't know. I have never tried something like that. So these are some of the tips. I hope some of you will find interesting. You will find them helpful. Maybe some other parts of the teachings. Few weeks that are not available in the public, but here in these master programs we are talking about. Here, every week we have days which are more which we talk more about health. But we are at the human body from plasma point of view. And one interesting lecture for me was, I think, 2 weeks ago or something like that. And it was about the plasma and the plasma of our amino acid. If we look at our amino acid, it's as a basic structure is NOCH. So it's composed of 4 elements, and if we look at it, it's similar as our star formation in our with our reactors. We have base and one of the on the top, and let's say every of this could be one of these elements. But when we have this star formation, we create free plasma in our star formation, which is not attached to the physicality of these elements. And so this free plasma represents our emotionality. We all know that we have emotions. We feel them, and its effects. We cannot touch them, we cannot see them, but we can feel them. So if we can feel them every day. It's something that exists in reality, but it's not tangible. So what is emotions? Emotions, again, are magnetic field based. And we can see that physicality, physical elements can influence to our feelings, to our emotions. And also reverse. Our emotional state can influence our physical body. So it's two-way communication. Goes both ways. How, let's say this is on the level of the basic structure of the amino acid, but when you put this into our body, we have like emotional part of our brain also, which is our thalamus. So emotionality of all these basic amino acids influence to the emotional part of our brain. So when we talk about plasma technology, we are talking about fields, and with these magnetic fields we can influence like physical elements of our body, or we can decide to influence emotional part of our body. And in plasma technology, we put more attention to this one, not to physicality. And Mr. Cash is always explaining to us that in his health process, he uses this one, not the physical one. Because it's much easier to achieve, to influence this one and to achieve results in physicality than to use like physical parts and achieve results in emotional part of the body. So the new development, the new health systems, they will use also this kind. So this field strength that can influence to emotional part of the body, or the latest information was even not only emotional part, but soul part of the body. So I would like to present what is here about plasma technology. That plasma works in all strength, from the strongest field strength to the lowest, and matter is only part of this spectrum of the field strength. And when you're looking on the human body and how to cure some diseases, it's easier to go through the free plasma, through the emotional part of the body to achieve results in physicality. In one of the teachings, we were talking about why like hormones influence to our emotional feelings, how we feel ourselves. Let's say, for example, women, their menstruation, they change their emotional state. What happened there? With hormones which are released because body is prepared to give new life, and these hormones influence to the position of physical elements in our amino acid. And let's say now we have different position of this one, different position of this one. So also the position of free plasma, let's say, change position or goes somewhere else. And when the position is changed, it creates new environment, and this influences to our emotional part of our brain, and we feel more sad, more happy, or whatever. So that's how physicality, like physical hormones, can influence emotional state. And usually women at that they need more attention, and they're more sensitive. But that's the explanation how it comes to this situation. But again, then this goes to emotional part of the body, emotional part of let's say emotional part of the brain. And emotional part of the brain gives information to physical part of the brain. Something is changed, and then this is showed in physicality, like you can have cramps, you are more tired, or whatever. It shows in the physicality. Women are more sensitive, they cry more, and that's the process. How with understanding of the plasma, we can see what is happening. And here we are trying to learn how to use plasma fields to influence this free plasma, especially for the curing of the diseases. And there is also other way how we can see this. And if we have this amino acid, and let's say we have disease, the position is changed, and also free plasma, well, emotional part of this is changed. And we can do two things. We can go and influence to the physical part of the amino acid to put things back into where they should be. But then we have to put physical, physical energy in it. Another way is to use the field strength of emotional part and put it in the right position. So we influence only one of this, or only one. We influence only on emotional part, and then the physical part. All other four will position itself and create again like a normal environment or healthy state. One interesting thing is also like this amino acid. We are used to look at it as a separate elements, but inside our body, this amino acid works like one plasma. It's one entity. One entity with different layers, and we don't have any more 4 different elements, because when amino acid is inside our closed environment of our body, it's in a vacuum condition of our body, and it behaves like plasma. It has kinetic properties, and it's much easier to adapt. It's not rigid. It's when it's plasma state, it's magnetic field state, and that's why our body is soft and could be more dynamic, more flexible. And but when we analyze this tissue, like human tissue, and we put it out of the vacuum environment of the human body, when there is in another environment, it changes its state. It behaves like a matter. So it separates itself. So it has completely different properties. And then scientists who are analyzing this in the atmospheric condition, they don't see real properties of amino acids. Amino acid in the atmospheric condition is different than inside vacuum condition of human body. If they can create the same environment like in a human body, they will observe different properties, and they can use this for analyzing and making medicines which work in a real condition of body, of vacuum condition of the body. So that's important. What we were learning in our teachings, and that we can always separate these two states: GAN's state of matter in our amino acid in our body, and matter state of material outside of our body. Okay. Our cameraman went away. No, it's okay. We can leave this nice picture. Okay. Any other questions about this, or? Are we still online?
Yeah. Can you hear me? I'm just looking on the live stream chat to see what's up there, and there's some comments. I have to look at it closer because I'm on a different device. Just a second. Yeah, it's more comments. Okay. Okay. Goes, my sister has a cancer cure. I'll just read the way it is. My sister have a cancer cured chemotherapy mammarian Italian name triple O negativo. What can I suggest to her to take from my actual knowledge? Thanks, Cash Technology.
Maybe she can apply this cancer trial, and then we will see if this is the case. That could be interesting. So she don't want. Well, she has to decide. You cannot make a decision for her. Sometimes it's strange for us, but people decide to, they don't want to be healed or cured. Why? It's difficult. Sometimes because they get a lot of attention. Mr. Cash explains us quite a lot about this. A lot of people, they just they stay in their condition because when they are ill, the other people take care for them. And they have this attention-seeking syndrome, or they feel themselves as they're important, that others take care for them, and they, in a way, they control the others, and they don't want to lose this position. So they prefer to stay in that condition than to be healthy, because then they had to take care for themselves, and others will not take care for them. So this is some kind of emotional trade-off, and it's difficult to understand, but that's how the real cases shows up. I don't know about chemotherapy. There is known fact. There are researchers published that with chemotherapy you cause problems in your immune system. Why? Chemo is actually they infuse strong chemicals to your body, and these strong chemicals, they are bigger, and when they're passing through bone structure, when the lymph is passing through bone structure, it fills up these pores in the bone structure, and then lymph cannot pass normally anymore, and this causes that inside our bone marrow, not all the B cells or T cells and all these cells that take care for our immune system are created. And there are researchers that after 5-10 years or something like that, if I remember correctly, a lot of these people who used chemotherapy, they died by small infections, not because of the chemotherapy, but because of small infections. Their immune system is not so strong enough to protect against these infections, because bone structure is clogged up, and that's then just small infections are then cause of the death. What I can give to her as a plasma. It's not so easy. Every case has to be seen separately. You have to see the whole picture, and also the emotional state of the person and all the problems around it. So it's impossible to say like that. It's case by case.
I think the best answer he has is his last statement. I try to help her with love.
Yeah.
That is the plasma.
Yeah.
That is the higher plasma, actually, that will lead to healing through the soul aspect rather than the physicality. So that's actually a better way to cause healing.
Yeah. That's right, Rick. Thank you.
Sometimes trying to interfere with people's processes that they have to go through is sometimes counterintuitive, counterindicated. It's people have to go through their own things sometimes and come to their own realizations. Sometimes we want to help, but sometimes that help can interfere with their process that needs to happen. We're better off just giving the love, I think, rather than the advice every day, or sometimes the advice might be irritating them more than their condition is. I think, especially with family members, where it's easy to get into disagreements and that kind of thing. But love always works, it seems. It's pretty hard to say no to it.
Yeah, but it's always a question, who am I to decide for other persons? So you can give, but it's the position of the receiver if wants to accept what is given. And
Right. And that's where that unconditional part of unconditional love comes in as well.
There is another comment here which is important. Caroline said, it's important to always take calcium and magnesium together for women. When they are not taken together, calcium is not able to get absorbed by the body. One is the hook and the other the ring. That is how they work together. So it's another important thing, calcium and magnesium together. For people who are not seeing the comments, Gordana, write down, what do you think about calcium from eggshell? Be prepared so that the egg floats in the freshly squeezed lemon juice. 2 to 3 days. Experience has shown very good results in the healing of bone, whether it is also good for the body in general. Chemotherapy takes calcium from body. Kind regards, Gordana. Yeah, this could be also interesting about calcium from the eggshell. Actually, I remember Mr. Cash once explained to us when he was working, he had experience with chicken farm in Africa. Do you remember? Yeah. So the problem was that these chickens, because they were bring up in their environment very quick, their bone structure was very weak, and from time to time they in the process they broke their legs. So he asked the workers there to go to the sea and bring these shells from the sea, empty shells, and I don't know, smash them and provide this inside the food. So then chickens created much stronger bone structure, and they were much healthier. It's the same process. They create better immune system, better development, and everything. And as these chickens were more healthy, even their emotional state was better than the other than chickens in the other farms. So for sure, even actual calcium can be used. Chemotherapy takes calcium from the body. I don't know. I cannot comment that. I don't know so much.
They mentioned using the lemon juice and putting the egg shell on the floating on the lemon juice. And that makes sense because that would no doubt form calcium citrate, which is actually one of the nutrients you can take from health food stores and so on to rejuvenate bones and for bone and teeth health. So that's a better form of calcium. It makes it more available, I believe.
Yes. There are some other comments here. Sandor, calcium and magnesium must be in ratio 2:1 by their atomic mass. Okay, thank you. It consider only chicken from villages free to go around, not in cages. Yeah, chickens which are free to go around are completely different than chickens in the big farms. Also, calcium to be absorbed, it must be in organic form and it must be in an acid environment, while magnesium used to be alkaline. There is a good magnesium made of calcium gluconate and tablespoonful dissolved in a little hot water, then adding cooled boiled water up to 200 milliliters, then adding half teaspoon of magnesium carbonate and tablespoon of cider, I don't know how to
Cider.
Cider vinegar, about 5 to 7%. So this is recipe from Sandor.
Cider is like apple cider vinegar. It's the fermented apple juice, essentially.
Okay. It's from apple juice. Okay, yeah. It's better than from wine juice then. The best to absorb magnesium is through skin. That's Kevin comment. When the body processes calcium, it also needs some vitamin B1 for the rebuilding of the nerves and also vitamin C. Okay. Yeah, vinegar made of wine. Vinegar made of. Okay. That's for today. Maybe even Mr. Cash is somewhere online that he can make some comments, or he's not with us. Okay, then we will go to Spanish workshop. And
Yes.
or is there anything else here that we can discuss?
Any last minute things? I don't think so. I think that wraps it up. So everybody should have shiny new teeth by next week.
Sorry, Rick?
I say everybody should have shiny new teeth by next week.
Yes. Let me know what we can do.
All these secrets.
Yes,
Okay.
more little, but even Romans know about that. They always use cheese at the end of their meals.
Well, that's a good point. Most of the good secrets have probably already been forgotten, and we're just rediscovering them.
Yeah, and French are also using cheese at the end of their meals, so they know about it. Just to remember ourselves.
There you go. Okay, and so ends the 30-second health teaching workshop on Tuesday, May 26th. Thank you, everybody, for attending.